So there's this fintech giant, SoFi, and they are going all in on crypto. I mean, this is a really bold, high-stakes move that could either redefine the future of banking or, well, be a very costly mistake. Today, we're going to break down their entire playbook based on some great analysis from the Motley Fool.
Okay, so right out of the gate, the analysis we're digging into uses this phrase, supercharged returns. And that's exactly what's on the table for SoFi's shareholders if this whole thing pays off. You've got to understand, this isn't just some small side project. It's a massive, massive gamble. But the potential reward? It's just as big.
You know, SoFi has always had this reputation as a disruptor in the finance world. Well, now it looks like they're trying to do it all over again by going all in on blockchain. And let me be clear, this is not them just dipping their toes in the water. No, this is a full-blown commitment. So let's take a closer look at what they're actually doing. All right, first section, what does a fintech giant's crypto playbook even look like? Let's really dive into the series of rapid-fire moves SoFi made back in late 2025 that basically signaled their huge push into this whole new world. So what did they do? Well, the answer reveals a strategy that just unfolded with like lightning speed. Honestly, in just a few short months, SoFi completely changed the game.
What's really incredible here is just the speed of these moves. Okay, so look at this. In August, they jumped on the Bitcoin Lightning Network. If you don't know, that's a system built on top of Bitcoin to make payments across the globe way faster and a whole lot cheaper. Then, boom, by November, they become the very first federally insured bank to offer crypto trading. That's a huge deal for mainstream adoption. And to top it off, in December, they launched their own stablecoin, SoFi USD. By doing that, they're not just a player anymore, they're trying to become the infrastructure for the whole industry. I mean, think about that. 3 massive, game-changing moves in less than 6 months. Wow.
Okay, so we've seen what SoFi did. Now let's dig into the really big question. Why? What's the grand vision driving this incredibly aggressive push into crypto? I mean, let's be real. Crypto is famously volatile, right? So why would a successful company like SoFi take on such a massive risk? Well, the answer really lies in their long-term vision, which goes way beyond just the day-to-day price swings. And here it is, the answer, straight from SoFi CEO Anthony Noto. The key phrases you really need to hear are technology supercycle and fundamentally change finance. See, this tells you it's not some short-term bet on whether Bitcoin goes up or down. Nope, it's a deep, long-term belief that blockchain is going to completely transform the financial world as we know it. And this right here shows you just how big their ambitions really are. They are not stopping with just trading and payments. They're looking at things like crypto-backed loans, services for big institutional investors, and even business banking solutions. So they're not just adding a cool new feature, they're trying to build an entirely new financial ecosystem from the ground up. Okay, but I bet this huge, well, it doesn't come without some serious risk. So now let's flip the coin and take a closer look at the potential downsides of this big crypto gamble. This number, minus 44%, this really highlights the very real risks SoFi is up against. Seeing the total crypto market cap drop 44% from its recent peak, yeah, that's a pretty stark reminder of the volatility they're dealing with. This is absolutely not a sure thing. So what's the final verdict on SoFi's strategy? Well, it kind of depends on who you ask. You can really see the two competing stories right here. On one hand, you have the critics. They're worried SoFi is just recklessly chasing a fad, getting distracted and ignoring their core profitable business of lending. But on the other hand, the view from the article is, are they actually making a brilliant strategic move that's going to set them up for decades of growth in this new digital economy? It's a huge question. To really get a feel for the potential reward here, you have to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Yeah, okay, the market is down from its peak, but we're still talking about a $2.4 trillion industry. And if you look at the chart, the long-term growth trend, even with all the crazy swings, it's pretty undeniable. And that is the context for this massive bet SoFi's making. So after all that, what does this actually mean for investors, for the future of finance? Let's break down the key takeaways from this whole thing. You can really boil SoFi's entire strategy down to these 3 simple steps. First, it all starts with this core belief that blockchain is the future of finance. That's the bet. Second, the play. They aren't just buying up crypto, they're building the actual rails, the infrastructure for this new financial system. And third, the potential payoff. If they're right about all this, they could end up at the very center of a multi-trillion-dollar industry. It's the definition of a high-risk, high-reward strategy. And yeah, it could change everything.
And that really brings us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? Is SoFi actually building the bank of the future? Or are they just chasing a trend and making a colossal mistake? The answer, whatever it is going to have huge implications, not just for SoFi, but for the entire financial industry. A lot to think about.